going to start off by looking at integers. And integers are counting numbers and their opposites. So 1, 2, 3, and their opposites -1, -2, -3, and we also include 0 in that. In math, we often want to look at and see, have some kind of visual to understand the math that we're dealing with. And to visualize integers, we use the number line. And the number line allows us to show the relative positioning of these numbers or integers, and allows us to sort these numbers. Now, this allows us to then look at integers in a slightly different way. And integers are basically the location of a number on the number line. It's a place. Okay? It allows us to find the position. So an integer tells us position. So we have our number line here. We have 0. That's our boundary between positive and negative. We have positive to the right, and we have negative to the left. So when we look at these integers, we can mark or find the position of these integers on the number line. Again, it's important to understand that integers are position. So when we look at -2 on the number line, -2 is going to be right there. That's our location of -2. Okay, it's the relative position. Our relative position is always kind of marked by 0. It's 2 to the left of 0. So we start at 0 and we go left 2. Okay, and so the negative indicates the direction. 7 is going to be over here. Okay, 7, there's where 7 is. And since it's in the positive direction, we're going to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to get to the location or position 7. -5 is going to be to the left, and we can see that we go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the left to get to the position or location of -5. So that dot indicates the location of that integer. And then +1 is going to be, again, from our relative positioning is 0. I'm just going to highlight that. Okay, everything is relative to the 0, and we're going to go 1 to the right. Okay, so that's where +1 is on the number line. So +9, we can locate that here. Okay, again, our relative positioning is relative to the 0. So starting at 0, we're going to positive or to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get to +9 on the number line. And again, notice the direction is important. Okay, positive is an opposite direction. That's why I have the arrows in here. It's opposite direction of negative. -4, we're going to start at 0 again. We're going to go in the opposite. So negative, left, 2, 3, 4 to the left. And that indicates the position. That dot there locates the position of -4. So that's important to understand that we're now finding the location of these numbers. +3, we're going to find right at that spot there. -8, we can locate it right there. Okay, 8 to the left. So here since the integers indicate position, we can answer these problems that relate to the positioning and the relative positioning of these numbers. So if we start at, it says 2 units to the left of 3 is, well, here is our +3 number, and we're going to go to the left, 2 units to the left. So 1, 2 to the left, okay, which is different than if we went to the right. So we are now at this position here. So 2 units left of +3, we're going to end up at a position of +1. The next question here says 6 units to the right of -1. So here's our position here, -1, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 to the right. That gives us a new positioning here of +5. Okay, here we have 4 units to the left of -4. So this one is important to recognize that difference in positioning. We're starting at -4 and we're going to the left. If we go to the right, we would end up back at 0, so they would undo each other. But here we're going to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that gives us this location here, or position, of -8. So 3 units to the right of 7, right is positive. Okay, so I'm starting at this location here of 7. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 in the positive direction, or to the right, so we end up at +10. 1 unit to the left of 10. Okay, if I start at 10 here and I go left or negative, I'm going to be at +9. Okay, so that's 1 unit to the left. 5 units to the right of -6. Okay, so I'm starting off at -6. Choose that color here. So I'm going to start off at -6 here, and I'm going to the direction right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to end up at position of -1. And again, when we talk about integers, we want to know location. Okay, and the location is relative to going right or left, or positive or negative, so it's important to know which direction we're going to find a relative position, or the next position from the number that we start at.